any small error, and he is just waiting to pounce. A massive thank you to Marius, Rafaela, Paul, Ramiro, and Briefcase for subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone, and welcome back guys to round 5 of Season 4 of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode, where today we head back to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the Monaco GP that went live earlier on this week, I would definitely recommend going back and checking out a very interesting race from the city streets, of course. Starting from the back, I won't leave too many spoilers, but yeah, it was certainly one of the better races we've had so far this year. But heading to Baku, though, should be a track that suits us quite well on F1 2021. Of course, we've had some good runs here in the past. Of course, we've made famously back in Season 2. Of course, we took our first and one of just 3 race victories so far in the My Team Career Mode as well there. In terms, though, currently of R&D progress, we are now pretty much exactly with Red Bull, and once we've got these next couple of upgrades on the car, we should be ahead of them as well. The Mercedes have got a small advantage on paper at the moment, but doesn't quite seem to be coming through on race trim there. You can have a look championship-wise, it is still Max Verstappen dominating the way at the front of the field there. We're P4, JB just behind us in P5, they're tied with Sergio Perez. We've had a really good consistent run of form to start the year as well here. But yeah, let's dive in then here to Azerbaijan. Heading out of the final couple of corners though to finish off the track acclimatization lap. This I think now is really where I'm struggling. I wasn't expecting to do that as well though, but yeah, just sort of struggling a bit more low speed stuff at the moment, obviously, which a lot of Baku's corners are as well. They're not particularly confident on the brakes as well still in this thing at the moment, and that is probably just going to be the green score. Yeah, a long way off purple, but a good start to the weekend nonetheless. Right, anyway, let's head out then onto our tyre wear run. Generally, so far, this thing's been pretty good on tyres this year. It's allowed us to move up the order on pretty much every race, actually, looking back at it, that we've done so far this year as well there. And, of course, that first lap was actually done on the hard tyres as well, so definitely have a lot more confidence now under braking. Don't tend to use the hards much on this game. I'm rounding the final corner then. Let's see if we can do our old Baku party trick here, almost a second down as we head through the final couple of turns there. But as we head up towards the line, all that time is going to come back in our favour here. It's actually getting a faint draft off of one of the Williams just in front of us as well there. And look at that, from 8 tenths down to half second up as we cross the line there. 6 tenths up, 7 tenths up.
That's complete, and that was a very good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that.
Still 8 tenths off Hamilton, but yeah, let's move into qualifying. Right, well, immediately heading out then into Q1, looking rather overcast around the Azerbaijan city. But yeah, we'll wait and see as to what we can do this weekend. Fingers crossed we can just get out of Q1 with no dramatics as well here to start off. I've tweaked just a couple of settings on the car, giving ourselves a tiny bit more front wing. I feel like it'll be worth it just to have that bit more confidence under brakes and to carry into the corners. That means we might be able to roll off the turns as well with a bit more speed. But yeah, this thing should be very fast around here. Suits the car's characteristics as well. So yeah, fingers crossed, should be Q3 with no dramatics. He says with confidence, but not much belief. Well, it's been a pretty good lap up to this point. Let's see what we can do as we head up towards the line there. Perez straight down onto a 35.6. Of course, I'm sure Red Bull, as always, will be a pretty good benchmark here. As again, we rattle up against the wall at the final corner. That's going to cost us a bit of momentum as we head back down to the start-finish line here. But down towards the line we go. What is the time going to be? It's going to be a 37. 2 seconds off Sergio, but still quicker than Russell and Schwartzman. Not great, though. Right, heading back out of the final corner, though, up towards the start-finish line. Not convinced at the moment that this time is going to be good enough there, so we're going to go out for one last-ditch attempt just to make sure we safely see ourselves through into Q2. There are a lot of guys are finding time behind us as we only just make it on to the final lap of the session there. Really got to try and attack the curbs, but there's easily at least another second on the table. Valtteri Bottas just starting to get in the way a little bit as we head in towards the final couple of corners of this lap. But yeah, definitely happy that we've done this one. Right on the cusp of the drop zone now in P15. At the final corner, though, are we going to see anyone else improve, and how much slipstream are we going to get off of Valtteri as well then? No dramatics that time round.
Jensen is faster.
No real surprises there in qualifying, but yeah, look at this run we're getting from Valtteri Bottas up towards the start-finish line here. That's going to give us a massive help as we head back to the line, over a second up, and that's P9. And at the end of Q1 they're just 2 tenths away from our teammates. It was actually, yeah, Sergio Perez setting the pace on that 35.6, nailed the lap very, very early on in the session there. Any surprises in Q1? Ocon has not been out in Q1, I don't think, so far this year. And Latifi as well as the usual four there. Bottas looking fast in his Williams. But yeah, happy we did that second run just in case. Let's get into Q2. Right, anyway, about to start our first run here in Q2. Maybe if we get this thing absolutely nailed, might see ourselves nicely tucked into Q3, but we'll have to wait and see about that. Going to require a low 36 immediately. Yeah, pushing the limits through turn 1. But that was a nice run out of turn 2. So important, just roll on the power nice and smoothly here. Make sure to really throw yourself out onto the next straight. Hamilton 36.0, currently fastest, but this lap has felt really good. If I do say so myself, I reckon this could definitely be low 36's territory. And might be good enough to see us straight into Q3 here. Up towards the line, watching the speedo climb, 250 miles an hour. It's a 36.1. Less than a tenth of a way from Lewis Hamilton there. I mean, he's on mediums and we're on softs, but really happy with that one. That should be good enough to see us through. And there we go, look at that, straight into Q3 with that 36.1 there. 3 thousandths quicker than Verstappen as well. So now we are definitely within the fight there. The top 6 cars, 1/10 of a second there. I mean, again, JB and I were on the softs rather than the mediums. But yeah, we are definitely on the money this weekend. There's 7 of us separated by less than a tenth at the end of Q2 there. Ilott, Gasly and Charles Leclerc through there. Carlos Sainz out in Q1. In Q2 there. I'm sure he's a bit gutted with that one. But yeah, we go into Q3 with 2 sets of tyres available, which never happens in this series. Let's see how high up the grid we can first run then in Q3. Let's just see what we can muster up and try and put this car as high up the grid as we possibly can then. McLaren might be our main rivals this weekend still. They are looking mighty fast as well here. And like I said, it's a track that suits both of our cars quite well, which we haven't really seen since round 1 of the year at Baku there. Wallop the wall through turn 2. That's not quite what we wanted to do. But it seems like it was tyre face to the wall there, so we've got away with it. Yeah, let's just see how this lap unfolds. Braking just before the 100. Oh, a little bit of a snag on the inside, but we get it slowed down. So important around here that if you do start to lock up, you just don't panic. Because, of course, there's no room for mistakes around Baku. You can bail out down the slip roads, but yeah, you just can't afford to panic and then just try and hang on with the car. So we get a little bit fishtaily out at Sector 2. Really attack the curb here and then in towards, of course, Baku's most infamous section. Nicely through there, really got to attack the curb on the inside there and really try and point it at the top of the hill, using up all the exit curb there. Perez almost immediately back down into the 35s there. He is looking like the man to beat so far in qualifying. But anyway, down in towards final sector of the lap. Track falls away from you again, just nudging the wall there. Hamilton, a 35.4, seemingly out of nowhere here. Mercedes have definitely turned those engines up to the maximum now as we head out through the final couple of corners of this lap. What are we going to be able to achieve as we head through the final turn up towards the line? We've got one of the Red Bulls just in front of us there. That must be Max Verstappen. So what time is he going to do? It's no quicker than Lewis Hamilton here, watching the clock slowly tick by. It's going to be a 36.5. A long way off there is Gasly, even down into the 35s. We're going to need a worldly of a lap if we want to see ourselves up the order. Right, final run then here in Q3 for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and this lap could be really, really important. We've seen some drama here before in qualifying, but fingers crossed this weekend we can get this thing all nicely hooked up. Of course, Charles Leclerc's famous pole position in real life this year, Hamilton's bottle way back in 2016 as well. But what are we going to be able to do? Now we've got a Delta chase as well. That's going to be really helpful over the course of this lap, as fractionally up as we head through turn 1. Sure, we're going to gain some time on the exit of turn 2. Yes, we are, as Button out of nowhere, a 35.4 there immediately gets trounced by Max Verstappen on a 35.1, who again is just getting beaten himself there. No idea who it is now. Hamilton down into the 35.1s, who goes fastest. I think I just saw Sergio Perez there as well, as this lap really unfolding already for ourselves. A couple of nudges of the wall there, and that is far too deep in through that corner. That's going to throw away a lot of time on the exit there. And so far, yeah, this lap just going from bad to worse at the moment. Let's go full commitment through turn 8. Only down the 2 gears rather than the 3. Top of the hill there, almost did a Hamilton. But time slowly coming back to us there. We're fractionally up as we head down in towards the final sector of the lap. But no idea where that confidence has gone from Q2 there. Of course, making it into this final session on the one run. That's a lot better though than we did last time around. We are going to be 3 tenths up as we head down towards the bottom of the hill. Really attack the curbs on the exit of the final corner, but we haven't had a good run. That's going to cost us all the way up towards the start-finish line here. Be as smooth as we can through the final corner. A little bit of a kick from the back end there, but it is only going to be a 10th improvement, and that surely is not really going to move us further up the space at all there. Down towards the line, it is going to be a 36.3. Where does that leave us? P8, I think. I think it was P8. Well, there we go. The end of qualifying, it really did just all unravel for us there, but don't really think we would have been able to get down into those 35.6s that we saw from Pierre Gasly there. So pretty much as good as we could have done. But Hamilton and Tsunoda, fastest at the end of qualifying there. 15 thousandths between the 2 Mercedes teammates. They're 26 thousandths between the 2 Red Bulls there, and 55 thousandths of a second covering the top 4 as well there. Verstappen not in the prime position, but Baku is certainly not a track where we're going to struggle to overtake. And let's dive in then here to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
A warm welcome to you from Azadlik Square, heart of Baku and home, of course, to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With high speeds, tight corners and few runoff zones, many are expecting a safety car here today, so our drivers will have to stay very much on their toes and hopefully away from the barriers. The Baku City Circuit measures roughly 6 kilometers and is made up of 20 corners and 2 DRS zones. The circuit winds around the narrow city, through the old town, and even brushes against the city's medieval walls. However, as beautiful as the setting is, this track is also a ferocious technical challenge, where the smallest of mistakes could lead to catastrophic consequences for all of our drivers. Anthony Davidson, a lot of talented drivers out on the track today, but what will stand out for you?
Well, Crofty, my focus is 100% on the front of the grid. Like you said, we're seeing lots of strong competition across those positions, so it would be super interesting to see the fight for that front spot. Personally speaking, I'm hoping for plenty of overtakes.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Yuki Tsunoda completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Gasly, Mr. Monaco, Islands, Leclerc, and Carlos Sainz, Joe, Russell, Lance Stroll, and Mazepin, Button, Bottas, Esteban Ocon, and Nicholas Latifi, Giovinazzi, Schwartzman, Mick Schumacher, and Christian Lundgaard. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Well, I can't lie, a bit heartbroken to see Button with some penalties for this one, but it does move us up the order just ever so slightly there. He hasn't done too well when he slipped outside the top 10, but he is on a good podium streak at this stage of the year there. But here we are then, on the grid, ready for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Really not too sure in terms of strategy here today what's going to be doable. Often the soft medium is the way to go here, but I think we're really going to have to nurse this rubber early on in the Grand Prix there. I reckon a safety car is likely to occur as well at some point here today, so we're going to go a little bit under on the fuel as well. But yeah, excited to dive into this one though. I'm feeling confident. Qualifying didn't quite go our way, but I'm still definitely feeling confident as we get ready to start this Grand Prix there. But ready on the grid then for round 5 of the year. It's 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go there. Gasly responded really well as we head down towards turn 1. We, however, really did not, as we tried to have a look back on the outside of Charles Leclerc, losing the 1 place to the Ferrari off the start there as Hamilton and Tsunoda there. It's teammates side by side out through the first couple of corners. And Tsunoda, of course, leading Mercedes charge at this early stage of the year there. So interesting to see where the team orders are going to come in from them. Trying to send it one up back at the inside of Charles Leclerc down in towards turn 3. And we will complete that move, so we will move back up to where we started then in this Grand Prix. But of course, we've got to be really careful early on. Top guys all on the medium rubber, so we should be a bit quicker than them very, very early on in this race. There, Gasly, Ricciardo and myself have got to be sent to an opportunity to really cause an upset for the top 4 here. Gasly, as always, is just an absolute machine, as definitely overstepping the mark on the exit in towards the castle section there. Just about navigating our way through here on lap 1. But yeah, good little start though to the Grand Prix. Haven't gained, haven't lost anything, which is always a good thing, to be honest with you guys, on F1 2021. But now we just got to settle down and make sure we stick in the DRS of the guys in front of us as well. And nurse this rubber. Drive it like we're having to pay for the tyres. Coming towards the end of lap 2 though. Just still within the DRS range of Pierre Gasly in front of us. Who again is just in the DRS range of Daniel Ricciardo in front of him. No idea what Ricciardo's situation is to the top guys. But look at Gasly. That AlphaTauri is a missile down the straight. So as Hamilton, another new fastest lap of the Grand Prix.
Being enabled this lap, we can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
I think, to be honest, if we were getting DRS off Gasly, we might just pull even with him. But definitely gaining a lot through the twisty bits still. Yeah, you can see there, Gasly, yeah, really got a fast car down the straights as Charles Leclerc has already been left in our dust as well here. But yeah, that AlphaTauri might be a real challenge to try and navigate. Finally getting some DRS off Pierre here, but yeah, can't help but feel like we're just using a bit too much battery early on. It's not something we normally have to worry about too much on F1 2021.
Gap to teammate behind is 6.2 seconds.
Baku is certainly still a track that tests a car in very, very different ways to a lot of tracks here on this game. But yeah, now we've got some DRS in him, though. Definitely feel like we're able to apply some pressure to Pierre here. And speaking of that, we might be able to get a run down in towards the next corner. Closing in rather rapidly under the braking, but not quite close enough. Closed up a lot on Pierre, back down in towards turn 1. Are we going to be able to get a run down the second straightaway here? The second bite at the cherry.
There's been an incident on track, but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful.
No idea who that is, but trying to get a run on Gasly, and he's aware of it this time around. Goes defensive on us. Much, much later on the brakes down the outside, and we give him some room. But we will complete the move. I'm into 5th place then. Well, sorry, I'm into 6th place even, of course, where we finished the last 2 Grand Prix in a row there. But the top guys, yeah, a long, long way at the road. Got to keep our head. Ricciardo into the pits really early in this Grand Prix, only at the end of lap 5. I mean, we're looking to try and go at least another 4 more laps than that, yeah. So rather surprised that Daniel Ricciardo is in when he is in this race. To be honest, I'm aiming for end of lap 9. Whether it'll happen or not is a different question. Well, that's sort of where I got my mind at the moment, is yeah, Mercedes and Red Bull still just in another league early on. But we're definitely 3rd best. Today's instalment of people I didn't expect to see in certain places, Guan Yu Zhou up in 6th.
We're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can. We're leading our teammate by 8.9 seconds. Jensen is in the pits. Jensen in the pits.
So a load more cars into the pits at the end of lap 6 there, including our teammate Jensen Button, who's definitely not had the best start to this race. Running a little bit wide through there, but yeah, we're just losing a little bit of time to the guys in front at the moment. But I'm hoping, yeah, all the midfielders will just start to trip over each other. Both Ricciardo and Pierre Gasly have actually come out in some good safety in this Grand Prix. Gasly, though's lost a good 5 seconds to Ricciardo, though, over that window, so not too sure what's happened to Pierre, so fingers crossed we'll come out still ahead of him in the Grand Prix. But I think, yeah, a lot of those guys are going to be 2-stopping this one then. And of course, we're still trying to do the 1. Again, it's just about trying to be smooth in the traction zones, which is still my biggest weakness on this wheel. Our warning light has just come on as well, but we've got to try and stretch these 1 extra lap. I think if we want to make this strategy possible. They're only at 62%. Is the rears actually getting more in than the fronts?
Try to keep this momentum.
Not sure how we're doing that. I think the Red Bulls, yeah, battling each other hard at the moment. We've certainly got our value out of this first set of soft compound tyres in this Grand Prix.
6.3 seconds.
6.3 the gap to Verstappen just up the road there. But yeah, these tyres have certainly got through the last of their usable life. Having to lift through that final chicane like it's F1 2016 at the moment there is. Yeah, look at that. We've gone as far as Hamilton and Verstappen on their mediums here, so we have really stretched this rubber as best as we possibly can there. Into the pit lane we come. Make sure we get it slowed down all nice and tidy there. And they're going on to softs. So are they trying to two-stop this thing as well? Are we going to end up in a position late on where we're actually in a really good place here? I'm getting a little bit worried looking at that train of cars peeling down towards turn 1. As why the team changed the front wing. I've never confirmed that. I never said yes to that. I was unaware we had any damage to that.
Go, go, go.
And a 10-second pit stop is immediately going to put pay to those expectations and anticipation. Team still reckon there's one more stop to go. I'm not convinced about that unless we get a safety car. But I had no idea we'd even damaged the wing. Hadn't noticed anything. It didn't feel like we had. What had I done there? This Daniel Ricciardo now out of nowhere that leads this Grand Prix, albeit just for a short period of time in this race, because he's got a lot of cars that are a lot quicker and on fresher, softer rubber right behind him as well. But yeah, I cannot believe the team opted to change the front wing there. Like I said, I couldn't even feel any damage on it as well, so no idea what that was all about here. But are we going to be able to get a run now on George Russell as we head down the back straightaway? Nowhere near close enough this time. But we've definitely got a lot more grip and a lot more pace than the Aston Martin man. Don't really want to have to wait all the way back round to the start-finish straight before we can do something. If there's any opportunity to run, we'll try and claim it before we get back round there. As look at the momentum he can carry in towards that corner there. But George Russell just able to control the pace on the exit of the corner here, and he's looking like he's not really dropping back from the guys in front as well here. But really, yeah, now we're starting to apply the pressure as we head through the castle section. Try and get a nice run out of here, maybe. No, just a bit too much curb on the entry and the exit there, but we've still been able to put the power down, actually. He says that. Getting a little bit loose and lively at the top of the hill. Oh, as we really get all over George Russell's gearbox here, we may as well now claim the DRS off him. No point just getting past him, just get jumped again, as Button 2 seconds up the road as well. There has really not been the start to the weekend, or to the racer I should say, for the team there after qualifying looked so promising. Out through the final couple of corners though, we should be able to get a good run now on George Russell. To the outside we go, and we're going to be alongside him before we even get to the DRS zone there. Around the outside of young Russell.
Great pass.
Out through final couple of corners again. Hasn't taken us long before we're all over the back of our teammate Jenson Button in this Grand Prix, and are we going to be able to get a run back down towards turn 1 here? Of course, equal machinery in the two cars, but we are still gaining as we head back down in towards the first corner here. Really lean on the fronts as you try and get the thing slowed down. And yeah, we've definitely got a lot more pace at the moment on much fresher rubber than our teammate. Oh, as we really try and roll on the power nicely out of turn 2. Are we now going to be able to get a run? Surely we are. As we head in towards the next corner here, we need a nice clean cut move. Haven't had many battles with our teammate this year, and this one's not going to last for long either. Nice calculated little send there. Didn't go too aggressive, I don't feel. And up into 11th, sorry, we go. Still not in the points. Go for a third move then. In 3 laps here, just slowly trying to pick off all these guys one by one. That's all over the back of Callum Ilott as we head through the final chicane there. Really has just quietened down in the last couple of races, has Callum Ilott. It was so explosive at the start of the year there, but Ricciardo definitely seems to be the front runner now in the team once more as we get a good run back down in towards turn 1 there. Ilott going defensive on us. We'll move to the outside much later on the brakes, and clean around the outside we go of the young McLaren man there. And that's going to be another nice move. He says that. We might be able to get a run on Carlos Sainz as well as we head in towards turn 3. Oh, I thought about it, but not quite close enough. But at least Sainz now is going to be watching his mirrors. Alright, what are the team recommending then? They are saying mediums lap 19. I think if we're going to pit again, it'll have to be onto another set of soft tyres here to make going long in the first stint work. But yeah, don't think I'll be too worried about that at the moment. Again, team only trying to get us to do 8-9 laps on each set of mediums when we did that on the softs. But yeah, a little bit wide out through final chicane, but we still got a nice run there. Ferrari, not the best car down the straightaways here, as Guan Yu Zhou not too far at the road as well, in a bit of a Ferrari sandwich. Can we get a run though on the Spaniard? Again, he's going to go defensive, just like Ilott did 1 lap before. Is it going to be the same sort of story though? Sainz very, very aggressive with the defensive squeeze there, but same story. Around the outside we go. Up at a P9 now of the race, and slowly making it back to where we should be in this Grand Prix. Guan Yu Zhou. Again, are we going to get close enough, or is it going to be the same sort of story as we had with Sainz 1 lap ago here? Yes, it is. Not quite close enough. The flags, who's got issues? Oh, it's Callum Ilott. Oh, Callum Ilott in the McLaren pulling to the wayside there with a mechanical failure. What is Guan Yu Zhou doing going so slowly just in front of him? Yeah, hate to see it for the young Brit who we just said has had a rough couple of weekends after starting the year so well.
Looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
No safety car though. Surprisingly still have had no safety car during season 4 of this career mode there. And yeah, poor Callum Ilott out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Really getting a run on Guan Yu Zhou now. He's actually going to go defensive in towards the final proper corner of the lap. And it's like he wasn't even there. Around the outside we go of Guan Yu Zhou. And I think we've completely mugged him off there in that situation. I'm into P7 now. Sorry, P8 of the Grand Prix. Can we get some DRS off Charles Leclerc? We're going to be right on the cusp. No, we're not this time, unfortunately. But we are still going to close in on him as we head back down towards Star 1. Verstappen in the pits again, as well as I'm guessing Hamilton. Yeah, Hamilton into the pits as well. So we are going to come out ahead of the Mercedes. Of course, he's now going to the end of the Grand Prix, and we're not sure whether we're going to be doing the same. Right, can we get a run on Charles Leclerc? Now, unlike the rest of them, he has no DRS to defend himself with this time round. And the Ferrari, again, is not the fastest package down the straights. To the outside we go. And we'll give him the room just so I get it slowed down in time. And Charles Leclerc disposed of up into 5th. And it looks like we are going to see the rest of the runners in front of us into the pit lane. So we will take the lead, albeit maybe just for a short period in this Grand Prix.
You'll be on the mediums.
Team still wants to box again onto mediums. But I think if we're going to do anything, we're going to stay up till about lap 20 and go softs. If we pit again. Depends what position we're in and what state of play it's looking like. I think, to be honest, looking at it at the moment, Hamilton really isn't taking any time out of me at all at this stage of the day there. The gap's hovering just over 1 second. I don't know if he's struggling a bit in the dirty air. But he's not really making much progress on us. Neither is anyone else. A bit further back.
Push now.
I say we go for it. We try and hang out to the end of this one. Because even then, Perez 10 seconds behind us. Even if things do fall apart, I don't think it'll be by nearly 2 seconds a lap. And that'll be the rate he needs to try and close me by. That being said, you make any sort of small mistake here on F1 2021 and Hamilton is just waiting to pounce. We're completely draining the battery each and every single lap at this stage of the race. As we start lap 20, Hamilton, new fast lap of the day. So he's definitely starting to apply just that bit more pressure.
Fastest lap of the race so far.
And he might be looking past us soon as Perez still gap over 10 seconds. Hamilton, though, we're going to keep using the battery where we need to try and stay in front of him. You can see that Mercedes is no slouch down the straight, despite all the dirty air. Well, as long as we don't make any stupid mistakes at the moment, if we're completely draining the battery back down towards turn 1, there's not a lot Hamilton can do. But again, any small error, and he is just waiting to pounce. Like that. Really try and roll on the power on the exit of the corner, and there goes Lewis Hamilton straight to the outside. As soon as I say it, the Mercedes is going to romp past us there. Can we have a look again? No, we cannot. Yeah, Hamilton really, really confident on the brakes as well there. And unless by some miracle we can stay close. Have we actually picked up some wing damage? I think we might have there. Wasn't quite what we wanted to do. Yeah, now we might have to pit again. We've definitely got front wing damage. Why the team didn't pick that up earlier on, I'll never know. But we are going to have to box the end of this one. And that has been a late race bottle here. And that is not going to help us out one bit. Well, there's no doubt about it. Lewis Hamilton has definitely forced us into a mistake at this stage of the Grand Prix. And yeah, we are bottled under pressure here. There was genuinely a small part of me I thought a win today might be possible here. But anyway, back down into the pit lane then at the end of the lap. Okay, it went red, but we were at 50. I thought we might have got a penalty there, but it seems like we got away with it. Are we going to stay ahead of Gasly? I mean, if we do, then I'm not too worried as to what else happens here. We might be a bit quicker than the guys in front. I don't think we're going to be ahead of Gasly, but we're not going to be far behind him once we get this wing on. And how come that stops 4 seconds quicker than the last?
Stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Right. Try and hold it up the inside of Charles Leclerc. No contact or drama that time round. And we are now up in 6th place still. So if we can jump Gasly still, 5th place, would equal our best result of the year. But maybe this isn't over. Ricciardo 12 seconds up the road. 5 laps, though. 4 laps, really. It's going to be difficult to do anything. It's Gasly, yeah, definitely has made a bad choice onto that set of hards. Up the inside. Oh, we tried to scroll off as little momentum as we could there, trying not to block Pierre. But we will get the power down, and we will see you at the finish line, mate. Any silver lining to that late race bottle is the fact we're going to set new fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 37.0.
Fastest lap of the race.
Rather happy with that one. Actually gives us a bonus point as well, so if we finish 5th, it will still on paper be our best race so far of the year. But how consistently are we going to finish as one of the top cars in the midfield there? No idea what's happened to Tsunoda to end up warranting him dropping so far back down the order, but consistency has been key so far this year. But I want silverware, I want trophies. And being honest, I think sensibly we were probably only going to be able to get P3 out of this. I think Hamilton and Verstappen were definitely going to get us. And it might have been Checo as well, to be honest, late on. So, yeah, really, we've only lost out. I'd argue 1 point to Ricciardo, of course, because we've gained fastest lap bonus. Right, but anyway, about to start the final lap, then, of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and it has been a weird old little race. I cannot lie to you guys. It's, yeah, been very up and down. At one point, it looked like the win might have been on the cards there, but yeah, just a couple of small mistakes from myself have really cost us.
Final lap of the race.
But out of all of it, no matter whether we start from the front, whether we start from the back, we always end up in about 5th or 6th place in these races so far this year. We've had a tremendous run of consistency.
Seconds per lap. Keep this up.
But it looks like Lewis Hamilton is on to take his first race victory of the year there. Guan Yu Zhou and Pierre Gasly battling it out behind us, as once again Pierre has been completely screwed by his team after showing really good pace jumping into the weekend. Yeah, he's just been screwed on tyre strategy late on there. Charles Leclerc might now be looking past him. Charles Leclerc, he's just pulled off a double overtake there. Charles Leclerc moving straight up into 6th place from 8th at the moment there. Are we going to see a drag race to the flag between those guys as well there? But Hamilton looks like he might just have done enough to hold off from Max Verstappen, unless of course Max now is within DRS range. Not sure he is, but it's looking pretty close between those two at the front there. Perez has had a good return to form this weekend after a couple of rough races as well. They needed a podium here in Baku, and he has delivered as well there. But Hamilton, he might have been down in the championship battle early on this year, but he comes out the final corner and looks set to take home the race victory here in Azerbaijan. There another win to add to his trophy collection there. Verstappen comes through in P2 there. Sergio Perez makes it a double Red Bull podium, and they further extend their constructors' lead as well there. Ricciardo P4 for the Australian, and yeah, for the 3rd time in 5 races, it's P5 for us, but 2nd fastest lap of the year as well. This thing's got pace.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
It's never an easy race here in Azerbaijan. There's drama around every corner, but they've come through to take a brilliant win here today. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. Max Verstappen should be pleased with his performance, making gains at the top of the table. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Charles Leclerc showed exactly how to manage yourself out on the track today. He was almost flawless out there. Incredible stuff.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, there we are then, guys, the end of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix there. And Hamilton, pole position and race victory, would have had fastest lap as well had we not pit late on there. It has been a very, very good week for the Brit there, who, yeah, does finally take some points out of Max Verstappen in the championship battle as well there. Mercedes have got 2, Max Verstappen has got 3 wins to kickstart the year as well there. Verstappen P2 ahead of Sergio Perez and Daniel Ricciardo there. Myself and P5 ahead of Charles Leclerc, and then Guan Yu Zhou, Gasly, Sainz and Button round out your top 10 there, which means McLaren scored 12, we scored 10. We scored 12 as well there. Ferrari and AlphaTauri all scoring 10 points as well there. It is very, very tightly punched at this early stage of the campaign there. Yuki Tsunoda, though, all the way down in P12, not the race he needed on the 3-stop strategy there. Yeah, it was very, very disappointing for him, and you can see the rest of your finishes there. Just Callum Ilott not making it through to the checkered flag there. Championship-wise, Hamilton up into P2 there, but Verstappen now with a 47-point lead at the top of the table. He is just looking formidable early on in this campaign there. Tsunoda down to P3. Perez and myself now tied for 4th and 5th place there. Yeah, considering we were 4th going into this with no finish higher than 5th, we have definitely been the consistency man so far this year there. Ricciardo jumps Button and Carlos Sainz up into 6th place there. Charles Leclerc jumps Callum Ilott inside the top 10 as well there. And yes, Sainz and Gasly tied on points as well at this stage of the year there. No movement further down the order. Constructors-wise, yeah, no movement there as well. We're still in 3rd place there. Not too far away from Mercedes as well. 30 ahead of McLaren, and then a further few more ahead of Ferrari and AlphaTauri as well there. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like. Get yourself subscribed as well. And yeah, we'll be back very, very soon. We're round 6 of the year. We'll head to Canada. You guys do not want to miss it. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel supporters. So a massive thank you to the Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David, Ben, Aidan, Estasios, Kato, Sean, Yoni, McBlam, Mighty Spork, Taziuf and William for becoming channel members. If you want to join them and be featured in all of these videos, you can click the join button down below.